Dr Hilary is here with that. Good for him.
Good for him. Yeah, no, very good thing to do. An open letter to Rishi Sunak saying, please, when you come across, you produce the budget on the 17th of November, think about providing free school meals for all children in poverty. He grew up apparently in Bradford with hunger, and he's aware that some children resort to stealing from the canteen because they're so hungry. That should never be allowed to happen. Some of these children haven't eaten since the night before. I know. So they're not having breakfast, and this will affect their education because they can't concentrate. They're not going to be attentive in class. They're going to be lacking energy. They're not going to be hydrated. So free school meals for children living in poverty and the stigma associated with it, really important, really important message. And
good for him.
You know, hopefully something will happen.
No, I hope so. And you know what? He doesn't have to use his platform to do that. So I think really, really good on him.
Absolutely.
Now, look, this is a really interesting one, potentially great news. Hundreds of women to benefit from a new breast cancer drug. Can you tell us?
Pembrolizumab.
Right,
so
glad you said that.
You see MAB at the end of any word like that, it's a monoclonal antibody. So it's a form of immunotherapy.
Right.
It takes away the defence mechanism for the cancer cell so that the human immune system can then combat the cancer. So it's already being used for other forms of cancer. For example, it's used for melanoma, lung cancer, cervical cancer, but it's now been approved for the 15% of women who develop triple-negative breast cancer. So these are cancers that aren't sensitive to hormones in the normal way, and these cancers can be more aggressive. So this is going to really benefit about 1,600 women every year who have this form of breast cancer.
Yeah. Good news.
And what we know from trials is that when you take pembrolizumab with chemotherapy prior to surgery and then you continue with this immunotherapy afterwards, that you get a better remission rate, the cancer goes away and it's less likely to come back. So
good news.
Really good news.
It really is.
You know, we've been campaigning for breast cancer awareness with our Change and Check campaign over the years and showing people how to self-examine and all that sort of thing.
Sure, and you can download the leaflet, of course, from our website.
Absolutely.
It's obviously still there. It's there all year round. Which it's just a great thing. It's just nudging all the time.
Every little step in the right direction.
Fantastic. Now, look, we were talking there about the contestants in I'm a Celebrity getting hangry, you know, hungry and angry.
Yes.
But what's hangxiety?
Hangxiety. Now, this is the condition where you wake up with a hangover after the night before, and you're feeling not just the physical symptoms of sickness and headache, but that feeling of dread and anxiety. That
wondered what you did.
You wonder what you did, why you did it, and how you're going to get through the day, and whether your worries and your anxieties compounded it and has become worse. So it is something that probably we can all identify with at some point.
We've all been there.
It's quite important not just to treat the physical symptoms by having a light meal and nutrient-rich fluids and plenty to drink of a non-alcoholic variety.
I improved for me.
Sleep.
Other beverages are available.
Absolutely. But there are some really good non-alcoholic beverages you can have in the future, leading, and quite tasty. You know, you wouldn't know the difference.
Sure.
So planning it out, and if you do have any emotional issues, then talk about them with your friends. You know, don't just rely on the booze, which is an escape. You know, talk about the issues so you don't have to resort so much to the bottle.
It's all, I mean, there's a world of difference between social drinking and then using it to self-medicate, isn't there? There absolutely is.
Absolutely. But
so,
this
just
is
be careful.
Common condition,
Look for the signs. Now, maggots on the NHS. Is this because we're, you know, in dire straits, or are these used anyway?
We've always used maggots. Funny, not many people will know this, but actually using maggots to clean wounds was something that has been around for centuries, but came back into fashion during World War I, when surgeons noticed that people who were wounded on the battlefield, their wounds got better more quickly if maggots had got into the wound and were cleaning up the debris. What they do is they eat the dead cells, and their enzymes in their saliva liquefy the dead tissue, the necrotic tissue, which can increase infection rates and pain.
No, it's amazing.
And they also help the immune system to bring the healing chemicals which promote wound healing. So we've increased our use of maggots in the NHS in the last decade by 15%. And people shouldn't be worried that it's going to eat healthy tissue or bury their heads into your body. Actually, what they do is that they only eat the dead tissue.
Right.
They prevent the use of unnecessary antibiotics. And we're getting so much antibacterial resistance now, antibiotics,
no worry.
that actually this is probably a good thing. And we need to. But there have been about 860 cases of it being used in the last year, compared to 1,300. Sorry, 1,300 now, compared to 800.
It's just when your doctor comes in with a wee bag of maggots. This is your.
Don't worry that they're going to escape and run around the bed. They're actually in a little bio bag.
Oh, right.
So they're confined to the wound, and the dressing can be changed.
Fascinating, isn't it?
So they're about the size of a grain of rice.
Oh, so they're teeny tiny, beanie weeny.
They do get a bit bigger as they eat the dead tissue.
Yes, indeed.
But they're friends. They're our friends.
They're our friends. Embrace the maggots.
Embrace the maggots. Because
they still use leeches. Leeches are used,
indeed.
And that used to be a sort of weird medievally thing, but actually it can be.
And of course, not all maggots are the same. These come from the green bottle fly larvae.
Do they?
They do.
Thank you, Dr Hilary. Do you know what? If it works, fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And saves money and sorts everything out.